going on, everybody? It's Chris with Inside the U. I'm in Melbourne, Florida today. I'm here to watch Miami commit Robert Stafford at practice here at Eau Gallie High School. Really looking forward to seeing how this thing goes. I've been wanting to see him in person and kind of show you guys on video what he looks like, a cornerback prospect. Definitely someone that Miami likes quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I want to kind of chime in on my comments. So definitely stay tuned to that after practice. I'll kind of talk about what I saw from him. And before practice gets started out here, I just want to talk about Miami's season so far, just a few things that have kind of stood out to me. There's a lot to talk about, and certainly if you've stayed tuned to the channel and the website, you've seen plenty of discussion about what's gone wrong with this team and what it looks like moving forward. So here at the midway point, Miami's 3-3, 1-1 in the conference. Certainly they could still win the division like they were projected to do, but it doesn't look good the way Miami's been playing. Also, North Carolina is out in front, and with tiebreakers, because Miami lost to North Carolina, it looks like a difficult task at hand, but certainly Miami's got plenty of games left, and we will see if this becomes a successful season. When we look back on the year, it's hard to say that it will be, but again, there are plenty of games still left on the schedule, especially in November, so there's plenty of time for Miami to end this season much better than it started. We'll see how everything kind of shakes out. So again, if Miami's not able to win the Coastal Division, I think there are two things that stand out to me in terms of how they could feel good about this season. Again, nothing's going to erase these 3 losses already. In particular, that Middle Tennessee is going to sting for a long time. But there's 2 things I'm looking at moving forward with the schedule. And obviously, you want to win every game. But there are 2 things kind of moving forward that I'll really be paying attention to that I think they can salvage this season in some sort of way. Again, you don't want losses to continue to pile up. But 2 things. The Florida State game at the start November, I think that's a big one. For Mario Cristobal's first one as head coach in the rivalry. We will see how that one goes. I think if Miami can win that one, it'll certainly make a lot of difference in terms of how the earlier part of the season has gone, and the way I'm looking at it is similar to the Texas A&M game in the sense right now they've got 2 games to get ready for it. It'd be nice if Miami can win both of these games. It'll be a challenge, no doubt about it, with what Duke and Virginia bring to the table and how Miami's been playing, but essentially they've got 2 games to get ready for this big game, and I think it can help define the season, maybe turn it into a positive, or certainly find positives in a season that's been disappointing. So in that one, I think it's a big one. I think Miami, if they could win that one, I think people would feel better about how things have gone, even though it's already been disappointing. I don't want to keep touching on that, but just looking for some positives. And then the other thing, obviously Clemson knocking them off would be huge, but the other thing I think would be big for this team and kind of with where they are at as a program is winning the bowl game. And it doesn't matter who they play in the bowl game, obviously get to the bowl game, but Miami's lost 10 of their last 11 bowl games. It's really been a disappointing thing with the program. Multiple head coaches have come through here, and not many of them have gotten wins in bowl games. And again, Miami's 1-10 in the last 11 bowl games. And when you're talking about building some positivity going into the offseason with recruiting or just the fan base in general, I think whoever they face in the bowl game, winning that game, just to have a positive mentality around the program, I think would be big. I think it'd be important. And you saw what happened in 2016 where they rattle off their 10 straight wins to start off the 2017 season after they won their bowl game. So again, momentum can be a thing, and we've just not seen it at Miami in a really long time where they win win bowl games, consistently. So those are a couple things. Tyler Van Dyke has picked up his play. He's definitely erased the doubts in terms of whether or not he should be the starter or not. So that's good to see how the passing game receivers are stepping up. I think people like what they see out of Colby Young. I know Tyler likes being able to throw to the big target, so it'll be interesting if Colby can kind of continue his really good play. Keyshawn Smith is coming on, Frank Latson. Those are the 3 receivers right now. Jacoby George, Xavier Restrepo still dealing with injuries. I think maybe a guy to kind of watch for. I'm very just curious to see how he does the second half of the season. That's Keyshawn Smith. Kind of been passed over with other opportunities, been kind of in that kick return role, but I'll be very curious to watch him because his reps have decreased. Coach kind of mentioned he's dealing with a little bit of a minor injury, kind of just handling the responsibilities of being a returner. So Keyshawn Smith is a guy I still think has ability, and I'd like to see him, be out there a little bit more, but he's got to make catches when balls come his way. So that's something to watch for. And I think one of the final thing I want to mention before I get to this practice here is the run game. Is it the offensive line? Is it the running backs with not enough ability? What is going on? Is it the play design? I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I know Coach Gaddis has talked about that. I wouldn't count Don Chaney Jr. in this mix this season. Maybe we'll see him back, but if you're waiting on him, I think that's kind of false hope on your behalf. I think it's got to be Henry Parrish, Jalen Knight, and then if we can see if Lucius Stanley or Thad Franklin can provide a spark as well. But they just have to run the ball better. The first 3 games were really good. I know I expected Miami to be able to run the ball better after what they did against Texas A&M, but I think what we're seeing is, you know, they put a lot on film those first 3 games, and teams knew what Miami's run game looked like. Again, injuries have played a part, there's no doubt about that, but Miami's got to get back to running the ball more effectively. I know the coaches want to do that, so we'll see if they're able to do that in the second half, because I know they really want to establish an identity at Miami to be able to be a physical team up front and run the ball. I think you're seeing the physicality on the defensive line. I think you want to see more production out of the offensive line, more consistency. And just lastly, got to cut down on penalties. Everybody knows that. So thanks for watching. I'm definitely going to check out this practice. It doesn't look good, but I'm excited. Either way, you know, you can't change the weather. So definitely stay tuned.
Hey, one of them's going to be wide open. It's probably the hook.
What's going on, everybody? As you can see, it's really raining here, really disappointing, but I was able to watch Robert a little bit. So all in all, you know, it's disappointing that it rained, but I'm glad I came up here. It's just good seeing these guys in person. But definitely hit the like button if you like these kind of videos, but definitely stay tuned for the highlights of him. What's going on, everybody? So they just wrapped up practice. I'm going to speak to Coach, and shout out to Coach Sands for letting me be out here and just kind of film and kind of be around the program. It's definitely great to see. I don't want to speak too loud because he's speaking to the team. I don't want to interrupt anything like that. And also, good seeing Robert out here. You know, one thing I'll say is he played both sides of the ball, some one-on-ones. He played corner, he played receiver, got touchdowns on offense, had a nice interception on defense. So good to see him. He kind of was banged up a little bit with a little bit of an ankle injury. I don't think it's anything serious. He just was kind of in and out with certain reps. And then also too, as you can kind of see, the field's really wet. It started downpouring, but these guys stuck it out. You know, I had to get under the cover and kind of just make sure I could get my camera dry and things like that, so I could definitely keep filming. But these guys stayed out here throughout the whole time, just grinded the O-line, D-line. Those battles were great to watch, even though I wasn't as focused on them. So just overall, good being out here. Robert's, you know, obviously a good player, but they've got some 2025s to keep an eye on. Definitely check out the website. I'll have some more on them. But I'm going to go talk to these guys, and thanks for watching. Definitely stay tuned for the highlights of the practice and just kind of being here at Eau Gallie. Thanks.